Hello, and thank you for joining us on Diaspora Connect, where we champion excellence by spotlighting the resilience of Nigerian citizens who are breaking barriers and making a difference across the world. On the show, we explore identity, origin, and diverse journeys of Nigerians in the diaspora. I am Abosede Adenio Adremi. Thank you for joining us. Now let's get the show started with Diaspora News. The chairman and chief executive officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri-Rewa, has assured investors and Nigerians in the diaspora that Nigeria is open and ready for business, with strong opportunities for investment and growth. She gave the assurance while delivering a keynote address at the Pre-Africa Diaspora Investment Summit Partnerships Dinner in Silicon Valley, California. The event, held ahead of the African Diaspora Investment Symposium 2026 at Santa Clara University, focused on strengthening ties between Africa and global tech hubs under the theme of innovation, investment, and inclusive growth. Mrs. Dabiri-Rewa highlighted Nigeria's commitment to leveraging diaspora expertise, capital, and networks to drive economic diversification and technological advancement. In line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, she commended the role of diaspora professionals in fostering development and appreciated the organizers, including the African Diaspora Network, for creating platforms that promote collaboration and long-term investment. Diaspora Connect connects you to your roots. So let's check out these fun facts on our Did You Know segment. Really amazing fact there. Today on the program, we are discussing EdTech revolution, bridging the skills gap for global competitiveness. My guest is Dr. Adeola Olubamiji. Dr. Olubamiji, popularly known as Dr. Adi, is a globally recognized executive, scientist, and serial entrepreneur operating at the intersection of technology, human capital, and global mobility. She made history in 2017 as the first Black person to earn a PhD in biomedical engineering from the University of Saskatchewan in Canada. After a successful career in the U.S., where she rose to director level in a Fortune 500 company pioneering additive manufacturing, she transitioned into entrepreneurship. She is the founder and CEO of Pathfinder Consulting, a multi-million-dollar EdTech firm that has supported more than 15,000 professionals across the U.S., the UK, Canada, and the continent of Africa. She also created JobVoid.ai, an AI-powered career platform, and co-leads a cross-border real estate portfolio as Vice President of Synergy Private Equity Corporation. Dr. Adi is a founder of STEM Hub Foundation, providing STEM training and mentorship to underserved communities. A globally recognized thought leader, she has received numerous honors, including Canada's top 100 most powerful women. On Diaspora Connect, Dr. Adi brings powerful insight on digital transformation, global talent mobility, and building wealth across borders. Dr. Adiola Olubamiji, welcome to Diaspora Connect.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here. Thank you.
And I can see the excitement because, hey, I will say that you deserve it. You've made a name for yourself, and it's truly amazing reading that, profile of yours there about, some of the impacts that you've made over the years. Now, you've made a particular history in the University of Saskatchewan as the first Black person, not just a female, but the very first person of color to, to get a PhD in biomedical engineering. How does that feel? And is it something you really planned for, or was it simply an add-on to your years of commitment?
I would say that nobody really planned to be the first, because you usually do not know you are the first until you get into the system. As someone who I had a bachelor's of science in physics from Olubamiji University, and at the end of my bachelor's degree, I was looking for what physics could do beyond teaching. And then I came across biomedical engineering. At that time, we didn't have a lot of infrastructure in Nigeria to accommodate that. So I decided I wanted to move abroad. And I would say that it was exciting for me to see the opportunities out there when it comes to biomedical revolution. And I count myself humbled and honored to be the first Black person to do it. But one vow that I made is that I wasn't going to be the last, that I was going to share this story. And I was going to start talking about digital transformation and allow Black people to see that we can do beyond the regular familiar terrain, like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, that there are new technologies and new areas that are popping up that we need to key into. I'm very humbled to see how people received the story. And I would tell you that this has touched many areas, and I've seen many more people come after me to become biomedical engineers, to also earn their PhDs in this field, because this happened in 2017. So we have seen many people come after me after I became the first. So this is exciting. And it also shows the ability that storytelling gives us, that when you tell your story, other people can key into it and do those things that you aspired for them to do. Thank you.
Indeed. And I was just thinking within myself that perhaps I should consider a career in biomedical engineering. But hey, I'm an art student. How am I going to cope with that? But hey, that's just amazing.
Maybe your children could. Who knows?
Ah, yeah, right. I'll look into that. I'll give it a very good thought, Dr. Adi. Okay, so, talk to us about how your experience in Nigeria, because you have just mentioned the fact that you had your bachelor's degree, here in Nigeria before you made that move. What inspired that move, one, and how have you experienced back in Nigeria? How has it helped you to settle in there and to continue to make good success for yourself?
So this will take me back to my upbringing. I grew up in Ibadan, and while growing up, my dad had two siblings. His brothers, one of them is a professor of nuclear physics, and one of them is a clinical professor. He had a medical degree, and he went on to become a professor. They all grew up together. But these people got education, and they used it as their compass to navigate the world. They relocated to the US, made names for themselves, and my dad hung the pictures of these men on the wall of our living room. So growing up, I had my own role model in my living room. So every day I looked at those pictures and told myself that if my uncle could rise to those positions, I could do it too. And, that was my motivation to actually study physics in the first place. My uncle is one of the pioneers of atomic bomb. So I knew that physics could take you to higher heights. It has innovation, revolutionary things and components as part of it. So I was determined right from my undergrad that I was going to use physics to do something revolutionary. And that background was very key, because if you don't understand why you're here, then you can't get to your next level. From my first year in university, I knew why I chose physics. I knew why I was there. And I keyed into every component of my learning. In my third year, I started thinking about what's next for me. I don't want to build atomic bomb, but what are the new areas of physics? So, and that's when I found out about medical physics, a component of biomedical engineering. And then I decided to build on that and be able to get a master's degree and then a PhD in this area. I would say to you that oftentimes as Nigerians, we commonize our degrees. We tell ourselves that, oh, our Nigerian degrees were worth very little. But I wasn't one of those because my bachelor's degree from Nigeria paved the way for me to get a master's degree in Finland. At that time, Tampere University was the most powerful technology university in Finland. And I used my Nigerian bachelor's degree to get into that master's degree, and I paid no tuition. And that Nigerian degree also paved the way for me for my PhD. And I'm excited and thankful that I could use my Nigerian degree as the bedrock of everything that I am today.
Yeah.
And I would tell you that if there's something that I hold dear to my heart, is where I'm from. It kept me grounded and it kept me inspired and it kept me having a reason to continue to forge ahead.
That's incredible. I like the fact that you're able to look back. And I know also over time, Dr. Adi, that you continue to talk about this uncle of yours who has been a real source of inspiration to you over the years. But here you are, I mean, excelling in the male-dominated field. How easy was it or how challenging was it? What challenges did you encounter, making inroad and being able to own your role and declare that, hey, I'm here to make a difference?
First of all, I want to say that I grew up with three boys. I had three brothers who helped shape my confidence, who helped shape the person that I am, that what a man can do, a woman can absolutely do that. I grew up in a family where there was no differentiation. I was not abandoned in the kitchen to cook. Everybody was doing those activities together. So before I left home, I was already used to the fact that I was equal to a man. And upon getting into engineering, yes, it's absolutely male dominated and it had its challenges, but I continue to excel because I nobody could tell me that I wasn't smart. I knew I was, and you couldn't tell me otherwise. And I also had where I was going. And that continued to help me. Now, when it comes to people shushing you or making you feel small, I had mentors. Every step of the way, I had mentors who helped me navigate the strategy, the politics, and continue to help me to stay on top of this issue that are out there. And if you're listening to me today and you're a woman in engineering or any male-dominated field, I think you need to own your power. You bring something to the table that most men don't have. Your softness, your smartness, your intelligence, and the specialty that you bring to the table, nobody can take that from you. Yes, I didn't bring just that to the table. I brought intelligence to the table. I brought top of the line cutting edge technology to the table, and nobody could ever take that from me.
So it's a beauty and brain combination. And imagine what massive impact that would make. Let's talk about the JobVoid.ai. What impacts really has it made? And how would you say that we can, in Nigeria, bridge that gap and ensure that our courses, our degrees, carry a lot of weight, because you have also referenced that.
Thank you. I believe today, when most people relocate or plan to relocate to anywhere in the world, the first challenge we see is the ability to translate your knowledge, what you're bringing from Nigeria, from sometimes the job description or job title. What they call you back home in Nigeria may be different from what is supposed to be called in that new country. Now, what does JobVoid bring to the table? Regardless of where you are, let's say you're targeting a job in Canada, it will take your resume and it will help you translate it to what is expected of you on that job market. It will also give you the gap. So what are the gaps? Maybe there are some insights or software skills or certifications that are important to that country. It will help you see that these are areas that you need to fill the gap on. And I love the fact that it's not restricted to a country. You can use it across multiple countries to help multiple people. When I landed in Finland, I did my master's in Finland. One thing was common in our community, And it was the idea of let's start small. Let's start here. Why? Because we didn't have platforms like JobVoid that could help us actually show that what we brought from back home, our education, our work experience, can be translated in a way where someone abroad understands it enough to know we have value, that we can be paid as a counterpart to that white person. And I'm glad that because I have lived in a couple of places. I've lived in Finland, I lived in Canada, I now live in the US. So I've seen this issue that it's not just a Finland issue. It was a thing that continued to, happen across the board. This is why I created JobVoid, a platform that helps you from identifying in this new location, what do I do to, is there any gap between what I have and what they're looking for? And how do I translate all I have to something useful here? Or now they call me for interview. How do I show up in that interview appropriately and communicate my value in a way that gets across to them so they can hire me? And if they hire me, how much am I supposed to make? I don't know if you're aware, a black woman makes about 69 cents of a white man's dollar today. Why? Because we usually don't know our worth, so we don't negotiate. And this is why I'm here, to make sure there's a platform where you know exactly what you deserve to be paid. Whether you are applying for that job from Nigeria and it's a Canadian job, it's a US job, you know exactly what you should be asking for. So we don't continue to have a statistics where Black people continue to be underpaid, underemployed. This is why I created a platform. I wouldn't start with what impact has the platform made. When I decided to focus on an edtech company in 2017, my mission is to make sure that I create an avenue, a community where we move the dial forward. I was tired of seeing Black people be taxi drivers, be Uber drivers, start from the bottom. I wanted a place where they could literally get here and get started in a manner that they deserve. And I'm glad through Pathfinder Consulting, we've been able to do that. And with JobVoid right now, this is now available on your fingertip. You can start your application for visa sponsorship job from anywhere in the world, having confidence that someone abroad will see your resume, they understand it, and that nobody can underpay you anymore.
Impressive, Dr. Adi. And I want to put you on the spot now because, yes, I want to be Oliver Twist. I want to ask for more, especially for my Nigerian folks. So I'm putting you on the spot and asking specifically what project you're embarking on how you think that folks in Nigeria who have big and ambitious dreams like you can get there.
Folks in Nigeria, first of all, something that we have that nobody can take from us is audacity. Audacity to challenge. And I think because we have that, we can always challenge anything. So if you have a big goal, you have a big ambition, I believe the first thing you want to choose is, where do I want to go? And why? Where can I fulfill this ambition? I chose Finland at the point where I went to Finland because Finland was leading in mathematics. Finland was leading in technology, and I wanted to do something in physics. So I chose a country that was number one in mathematics. And because I knew I could fulfill my ambition there. And after my master's, I chose Canada because it was embracing immigrants. And then after that, I said, I want to go to the best. I want to go to the US, the House of Innovation, and actually make impact there. So it's not about what can I do for you. The first thing is for you. Have you decided? Do you have that level of clarity? Where do I want to go based on my ambition, and what do I want to do there?
All right, Dr. Adi, that's great. And thank you so much for sharing that. I hope someone picks that up. Dr. Adiola Olubamiji is founder and CEO of Pathfinder Consulting. Thank you so much for your time on Diaspora Connect.
Thank you for having me. All the best.
Next on the show is Culture Connect.
Adamu Orisha Play, popularly known as the Eyo Festival, is the highest traditional and cultural performance exclusive to the indigenous people of Lagos.
Arigo. The Kábíyèsí himself is the Ẹ̀yọ̀. Is the Olórí gbogbo Ẹ̀yọ̀.
This marks the grand finale of the week-long festival. President Bola Tinubu arrives at the venue alongside top government officials. Ẹ̀yọ̀ from different families and palaces parade in groups, displaying pomp, pageantry, and regal splendor. Behind the colorful celebration lies a sacred rite performed days ahead of the festivity in keeping with long-held traditions. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu used the occasion to appreciate past leaders of Lagos State, particularly highlighting the contributions of President Bola Tinubu.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, his activity as our president so far has demonstrated great compassion. It has demonstrated courage, has demonstrated resilience and passion for our great country, Nigeria. And so the tradition, which exports great contribution to the ancestral realm, is not just a bond of intimacy, but it is worthy to celebrate. Today, through the long-awaited rite, we affirm that our legacies endure and that their wisdom continues to guide our collective journey.
This year's festival is held in honor of the late Brigadier General Mobolaji Johnson, the first military governor of Lagos State from 1967 to 1975. Also honored are the late Lateef Jakonde, the first civilian governor of Lagos State from 1979 to 1983. Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola, who served as governor between 1992 and 1993, and the late Yaloja General of Nigeria and mother of President Bola Tinubu, Alhaja Abibatu Ashabi Mogaji, a business magnate and grassroots politician.
As you know, I'm a Lagos Islander, and being part of government, it doesn't come out every year or every 5 years. It comes out whenever it's necessary to celebrate our heroes, the passing of our heroes. I'm so privileged to be part of government and witnessing an Ẹ̀yọ̀ outing.
Eko for show. When you come to Lagos, we don't say welcome to Lagos. We say this is Lagos. As you are seeing this Ẹ̀yọ̀, this is us. This is our culture. This is our identity.
This is the 73rd edition of the Ẹ̀yọ̀ Festival held in Lagos State since 1854, with traditions carefully handed down to the next generation.
As we wrap up the conversation today, here are 3 key takeaways. 1, get a mentor. 2, don't underestimate your degree. And 3, know your worth. Until the next time, keep exuding the glow of a true Nigerian, that proud and unbeatable Naija spirit. I'm Abosede Adenira Aderemi. I'll see you again. Goodbye.